Thank you, Mr. Wells. Thank you, Dr. Hayes. Reclaiming my time, I was noting my colleague from New Hampshire's comments about a women's clinic at the VA there, and she talked about an all-female staff who are helping veterans in her community. In El Paso, Texas, the community I serve and represent, I hear persistently from veterans about our women's clinic and its shortcomings, one of which is that there is one OBGYN provider who is part-time, who is male, and many of the veterans who speak at my town hall meetings, women veterans, say that those who have experienced military sexual trauma are very uncomfortable with that situation. When we talk to the VA about that, they say that they cannot discriminate based on gender in hiring, and they are not going to make any changes to that situation. In addition, we have the problem that we only have a half-time provider, and you have wait times to get an OBGYN appointment of up to 6 months, maybe longer, but 6 months is a number that we know to be true from some of the veterans we work with. Dr. Hayes, how do you respond to that? How would you guide me in improving that situation and working with the VA to make it better?
Certainly, I'd like to work very closely with you on that particular issues and anyone that's having that issue about gender of provider, because number of things. As I think Ms. Illen pointed out, we already have a policy that says that we will honor a veteran's request for gender of provider, whether it's in-house or whether we use non-VA care for that. So that only sort of stopgaps the measure, though. The other what I would question is the issue about hiring, and we already know that we have received waivers from the Office of Personnel Management when we know that we have a preponderance of a need for a female provider, and so we can go directly to that situation. It does show the need that we have to look at each provision of gynecological care, and we're starting to do that. I've already got appointments for a number of places. We're talking to the directors about this. We realize that our policy isn't making it to the ground in terms of the needs, and so we'll look at the need there, how many GYNs do they have. Some women do not have the preference for a female GYN, but many do, and we're looking at being able to provide that in-house wherever possible.
Thank you. You know, just your answer alone right now is helpful to us. Perhaps there's a communication breakdown in El Paso in terms of what they believe they can or cannot do when it comes to serving the needs of women veterans in El Paso. So I appreciate your answer. But yes, I want to follow up with you, and let's make this situation better.
Let's do it.
So thank you. And then for the other panelists, in the remaining 2 minutes that we have, would love to get your thoughts on whether the focus should be to continue to build up capacity within the VA, or Ms. Halfaker, I thought you made some important comments about creating or pushing for excellence in how that care is referred, how it's paid for, and how it's coordinated. When I read that the Secretary is trying to hire 28,000 unfilled positions within the VA, I worry about focusing on building something up and not capitalizing on capacity that's within the community. So if you wouldn't mind addressing that, and if there's time, I'd love to hear from Ms. Elam and Ms. Augustine as well.
Sure. Thank you. I firmly believe that I think that it is taking too long to staff. I mean, we've been hearing about these staffing issues for quite some time. There's always been issues at the DCVA where I go, and you know they can't seem to resolve those staffing issues, and so you know we continue to wait. 6 months is you know, well, 5 to 6 months is usually the average wait time, so at least for me. So I would say that, you know, we're better served. Finally, I called just very recently to try to make an appointment, as I alluded to earlier in my testimony, and, you know, they referred me to the Veterans Choice and said that I could call this 1-800 number if I wanted to try to get an appointment sooner, if I was eligible to get enrolled in that. And I have not followed up on that yet, to call that 1-800 number. But, you know, given all of that, I would think that, you know, the VA is best served to have some kind of network where care can be provided seamlessly, and, you know, information can be efficiently shared between the VA and you know, the outside provider.
Thank you. And Ms. Elam and Ms. Augustine, I'm out of time, so if you wouldn't mind, I'd love to get your responses for the record, or we could follow up after the hearing. Thank you. Mr. Chair, I yield back.